Okay, so yeah, we're gonna check out some demos. This is all overflow from the October 2025 Next Fest. There was a lot I wanted to check out. Um, and to be fair, I cut the list at least in half from stuff that I changed my mind on, like I was like, or stuff that just didn't have a demo up anymore. So there's still 21 total. I have like 7 queued up right now, but we'll see what we get through. This is aimed to capture. Game contains flashing and flickering visuals that may cause discomfort, horror, blood, and mentally disturbing content, themes involving trauma, death, and mental health. If you're sensitive to any of the above, please consider carefully before playing. Yeah, let's go. I like that it actually has a confirmation before it. Really? Wait, maybe you didn't explain that quite right. This game contains furries. Still wants to, still want to play. Well, we did warn you. This is tongue in cheek because I'm pretty sure it was made by furries. It's the first episode of a 4-part game. You might run into rough spots or bugs here and there. If you spot anything like that, please contact us on Discord. This game is not suitable for children or those easily disturbed. Also, I'll make a note to cut, aim to capture alone. So if we do pick up the other episodes, that way I can just playlist it. Alright, options check. Windowed is fine, English is fine, name box left is fine. Actually, let's do name box center since I'm on the left. Fast text. Okay. Music up, sound up higher. So slightly higher. Okay. Slightly higher than sound. That's more like it. Let's go. This looked like a visual novel, but it also said it was a photography game, so we'll see what happens here. Disparities. Oh, okay, it's... Nemosis. Nemosin was the muse of memory, wasn't she? Patient code. Accessing virtual interface. I think if you're watching the video. Do. Alright, real quick, I'm going to establish a save. Oh, I like the little phone interface. My head feels heavy, like all my thoughts have fused into one sticky mess. All I can think about is my soft bed and my pillow, the one I can bury my face and shut my head off. In and shut my head off, okay. And silence. God, I crave silence. Meanwhile, the dispatcher keeps rambling into my ear, but my brain gave up trying to keep up a while ago. I'm gonna go to the beer groceries bar. He's saying something about someone quitting again at the worst possible time, and of course, fewer couriers means more deliveries for the rest of us. Okay, it looks like we're a food delivery driver, judging by the name Fast Delicious. Business can't stop even if you're barely staying on your feet. So, can you take on a couple extra orders? I'm also gonna bite my head off and we get slammed with bad reviews again for missed deliveries. So I gotta ask every courier to kindly take a couple more stops. I like how they did the text trees man there. These are Bint's traits. You can use them to make choices. Later, you'll be able to create even more traits. Got it. Empathy or apathy? It's a fucking whatever job, so... Well, yeah, sure. As long as we get paid overtime for it. Yeah, about that. We'll talk later, alright? What matters now is making sure no one's missing their dinner. So you got everything? Yeah, I'm ready. Perfect. It's gig economy. Fuck that shit. As the call ends with a beep, I let out a nervous little laugh and lower the phone. Perfect. I want to die. So maybe 8 hours of sleep over the past few days. Look at the screen. 4 new addresses. I shift officially ends in 5 minutes, but no one cares. Also officially. Sure, all the addresses are at least in the neighborhood, but damn. They're one of these little favors for the company. It just reminds me I should probably quit before I work myself into an early grave. Yes. Maybe I should find something easier. Sign up for Superb Eats, work with flexible hours or whatever. But they won't hand me a company scooter. And I surely can't afford my own ride right now. Plus, they even give us seasonal uniforms here. Wait, was I just praising my own job? I let out a heavy sigh and rubbed my eyes. Time to get moving. 15 minutes later, I was standing by the store's loading area, picking up a few packed up delivery bags. They weren't all that heavy, just more than you want to deal with at the end of a shift. I held them all in my hands and one on my tail, mentally checking if they'd fit in the scooter trunk. Somehow, I managed to cram everything into the trunk. Oh hey, we're a radical biker. Get out of my way. Tight fit, but the lid showed with a soft click. Just to be safe, I gave it an extra push. I wasn't fully convinced it wouldn't pop open on the first sharp turn. I grabbed my phone, checked the order list, and picked the closest address, just 5 minutes away. Small mercies. Got on the scooter, started the engine, took a deep breath, and went on my way. On the road, I noticed the air had gotten considerably colder, and the dampness crept in under my clothes relentlessly. It wasn't exactly freezing, but I guess that long, warm autumn the forecast promised was a bust. Looks like I'll need my winter uniform sooner than expected. Gripped the handlebars tighter, trying to stay focused on the road. Soon enough, the first address came into view. A neat and quaint little house with a warm glow radiating from the windows. With a bit of effort, I finally fished the right bag out of the trunk. Had to dig around a little, pull one bag out, shoot for another around, but got it in the end. The rest stayed there where they were, hopefully. Let out a sharp breath as I got to the door, trying to pull myself together, and managed to smile. I wasn't nervous, really, just the kind of fatigue that sticks to your bones. Every move felt like it took more and more effort. I knocked on the door and braced myself for a wait. After a few seconds, footsteps echoed behind the door, slow and steady, like the person wasn't in any sort of hurry. Muffled voices drifted through the walls. The first was a woman's, sharp and annoyed.
Corey, someone's banging at the door again.
I heard, dear. Ain't deaf yet, no matter how hard you try.
Well, go on then. Tell them it's rude waking in folk at this ungodly hour. These people are all in bed.
This is exactly what I thought, which is why I'm getting the door. The footsteps grew louder and more certain, then stopped right behind the door. At last, the door creaked open, and there stood an old man, messy fur, eyes a bit weary, but there was no anger in them. He squinted at me, giving me once over from head to toe. For a moment, I thought I might have gotten the wrong house. Looked like no one here was expecting a delivery. Then the man glanced at the bag in my hand and lit up right away. Oh, you're here. Mrs. found out I forgot to pick up groceries again. I'll be having a hearty meal of complaints instead of dinner. How should I react to this? Pathetic. I handed him the bag and finally worked up the nerve to say something, now that I wrapped my head around the whole situation. Good thing you went with delivery, otherwise that dinner would have given you heartburn. The man burst out laughing, loud and genuine at first, but then suddenly caught himself, quickly glancing over his shoulder to check if his wife had heard. He cleared his throat. Right, so, how much do I owe you? I froze for a moment. Actually, already paid online. All that's left is to take your groceries and make sure everything's there. He frowned and went still, like he was working on some complex equation in his head. Right. But hey, if you're in the mood to spend more money, your delivery guy does accept tips. Looked at me again. Serious at first, and suddenly burst out laughing again. Nope. You're funny, though. Asshole. He took the bag, gave me a quick peek inside. Alright, thanks. He smiled and shoved something in my hand. Shut the door right after, not giving me a chance to say anything back. Okay. Yeah, being friendly with customers often has advantages. Later on, you'll be able to use it to create other thoughts, and more importantly, traits. Got it, okay. I opened my hand to see what he gave me. A mint. Fuck you. Fuck you. I sighed and slipped it into my pocket. I felt the tension ease up a bit, then voices came from behind the door again.
So, who was it?
Let's just start Donnie again. He stayed too long at the bar and got the wrong yard.
Oh, Donnie, he really needs to quit. Tomorrow I'm telling his wife and his mother.
Wow, trying to get him killed? Ugh. Walking away from the yard, I checked my phone and marked the order as done. There's 3 left and then I can head home. Alright, next address isn't far. Maybe if everything goes smoothly, I'll finish before I pull all my hair out. Who knows, maybe tonight I'll get more than 3 hours of sleep? Nervous chuckle escaped me. You always were a kidder, Bent. I sighed heavily, rubbed my eyes to shake off the fatigue, and climbed back onto the scooter. Felt like it got even colder. The engine rumbled quietly. The scooter responded with a light vibration that ran through the handlebars straight into my tired hands. The air night smelled so nice, like something familiar. Suddenly I wanted to close my eyes for a minute. Or just for a second. Rip the company scooter. Oh, well, that's even weirder. Damn! A sharp, burning pain suddenly fled deep inside my eyeballs, and for a split second, something strange flashed before my eyes. Almost unreal. You're a fragment from one of my nightmares. Oh, this could be a trait later, too. I think I didn't hit the gas. Okay, no big deal. It's all fine. I just need a moment to pull myself together. You're in Bint's reflection phase. Here you can create new traits by combining thoughts together. By clicking one thought, then another. Some new thoughts will be dead ends, but you can't make anything with them, but you'll get to see how Bint reacts to them. We send them to the Mind Vault, and you can check them out anytime. Every thought you gain outside the reflection phase can be turned into a trait. If you feel like you've discovered everything you could, just hit continue in the corner to exit the reflection phase. Good luck thinking! Okay, how much I dream, it doesn't bring back my will to live. I wake up just as drained as when I passed out, and the emptiness never leaves. Sometimes I just dream of getting help. Okay. Sometimes nothing really works out. That's okay, I guess. I call myself resilient, but did I really make it through everything? Maybe I'm not tough, just broken for so long. Maybe I'm just running on momentum. I try to be reliable, but sometimes I wish I could take a risk, some wild adventure that would turn everything upside down. But I can't. It's not just my life on the line. Why do scary things always make your hands go cold? Yes, yes, blood flow, sweat, all that. Must every answer sound like it's things from a wiki? Why was that a different voice? I don't have a plan. I'm just waiting for something. I'm outside forced to change my life. Yeah, I know, it's dumb. I watch horror movies sometimes, but I never thought real life could be much worse. I keep losing it, but luckily we're still staying afloat for now. Friends always say, hey, do I have friends? All my subordinates are my friends. That would influence. Oh, eloquence. Be charming. Talk your way out of anything. Twist people's minds until they're on your side. All for your own good. Eloquence is the most useful trait. Everyone agrees on that, even the other traits. Copyright eloquence. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm not alone. I've got you and Miss T. Okay. Such a weird feeling. Sweet and bitter at the same time. Just like orange juice. In some ways, this reminds me of I Am Nima. Or Am I Nima? I, we depend on each other. Without her, I've lost all purpose a long time ago. That might not entirely be healthy. Alright, cold again. Sickness. As a kid, you don't even think it's a thing. Then it becomes what you're most afraid of. But for me, it's not death itself. It's dying before I even get to start living. Okay. Suppose you're not going anywhere. Cold's not going anywhere. Trying to check all the nulls here. Why suffer when you can just not? Or detachment's a little other stuff. Regrets for people who actually got to choose something in life. For me, that's a luxury. Okay, detachment and loneliness got me something I already had, I guess. And how much you get go over it? I really can't blame. I can't really blame myself. I did everything I could. Oh, what? It's also what we had already. Tape is done. Understanding is done. Equals burnout. Yep. Okay. Give anything to enjoy my work. Right now, I don't even know what I want. Anxiety is the most exhausting thing there is. It drains all your strength, makes your heart pound at a frantic pace. Sometimes it makes you think about things you wouldn't even consider in a calm state. Or maybe you would have thought about it anyway? And maybe because of the anxiety, it was something important. Oh, God. Alright, pain's done. Envy people who never have to worry about it. Money. Isn't that basically freedom? Sickness is done. Paranoia and cold also equals gets sickness. What do you mean, fail? Is this some sort of bug? System explain. Oh, maybe the blockier text is whoever's at the computer. I have to look after her. She needs to forget the hell we've been through. That's the only way she'll ever have a real life. The one she actually deserves. I guess that's the Haley we were talking about. Possibility's done. No one's ever really safe. I figured that out a long time ago. Encouragement. Let her have whatever she wants. Bravery's done. Risk has no connections currently. Those are what could have been. The thing about it just hurts too much. Family detachment equals... Family's done. Right. I think we're done. Think about the profits I missed out on. Kind of stings, because I know I could have done something. I could have talked people up. Feeling a bit better now, just gotta keep moving. Rolling up to the next delivery, I slowed down and stopped right outside an old house with a long crack running along the facade. Almost every house around had neat flower beds, or at least a couple of pots by the door, but here there was nothing. I just want to save having done all that trade stuff. Faded walls, peeling paint on the door frame, and an empty yard that looked like no one had set foot there in ages. Killed the engine, slowly got off the scooter, and opened the trunk to grab the biggest bag of groceries. Rang the doorbell and waited a few seconds, but nothing happened. No footsteps and no movement behind the door. Patiently, I rang again. Only then did I catch a faint sound. Someone was slowly approaching the door, but even then it stayed shut. I sighed heavily, gripped the bag a little tighter, knocked on the door with my hand. A strange noise came from inside. Something between a scared squeak and a soft sigh. Hello, it's your grocery delivery. After a short pause, I heard the sound of a lock. By a click. Another one. And a third. Followed by the click of a chain. The door slowly, almost reluctantly, opened just a crack. I peeked out from the gap.
It scared me.
How?
Could have been anyone. You kept ringing the bell so insistently. I thought maybe you were some kind of villain or maniac.
But didn't you order delivery for this time?
I did. What's that got to do with anything?
I had nothing to say to that. I squeezed the grocery bag a little tighter and carefully held it up. The shadow in the doorway twitched and quickly stepped back, wary of my movements. Here's your order. Thanks for choosing Fast Delicious. In the darkness, a pair of slender hands slowly reached out. Fingers trembled slightly, but they took the order anyways.
So, by the way, are there still a lot of people out there?
Right now? This late?
No, in general. There are way too many people on the streets. Just wandering back and forth wearing fake faces. So annoying.
I feel like anxiety would put me on their level. People are just creepy. You can't really expect that anything good from them. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised nothing weird's happened to me today, but hey, it's probably just a matter of time. The dark silhouette in the doorway leaned forward a bit, like they were sizing me up through the dim light. You could feel their eyes on me.
Never thought someone like you could get me.
Hell yeah! I sighed hard, frowning a bit. What the hell do they mean by that? Someone like me? What's that supposed to mean? They shrugged, tilting their head sideways, like they were checking me out from a different angle.
Well, you're kind of handsome. Everyone's always clicking at you, smiling, looking for a reason to talk. But you still don't like the attention. That's weird.
Words threw me off a bit. This is some kind of weird joke. Feels like I'm more of a walking corpse than handsome. I haven't been to a gym in ages. No time, no energy. I'm trying to survive. The only ones trying to talk to me are annoying clients. Sorry, I gotta go. Got a couple more deliveries. Just as I was about to turn and leave, they suddenly switched forward, slightly touched my shoulder, and then quickly stepped back.
Wait,
I stopped and turned around. They looked nervous.
I gotta check something important.
They looked down. So, how can I help?
Actually, I'm afraid.
They trailed off, not finishing the sentence, like they were thinking it over. I'm no shrink, but hey, they gotta keep that F rating up. Are you scared of something again?
No, I'm afraid. Forgot to put my barbecue sauce in. Pretty sure I ordered it.
Seriously? Sauce? I glanced down at the bag they were holding. I'm sure I put it in there.
Ah, there it is, buried at the bottom of the bag. No, the pack feels kind of light. You didn't take a sip before handing it over, right?
What? Of course not. Who even drinks barbecue sauce anyways? Or any other sauce? He stared at me like I just said something completely insane. Yeah, gravy's for drinking, not sauce.
Weird question. Who doesn't drink it? What else are you supposed to do with it?
I barely held back a loud sigh. Seriously, give me a day off.
First time I met someone who doesn't like barbecue sauce.
No, I do like it. It's just... Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have to go. Please order from Fast Delicious again. But better not.
You're weird as hell. Nobody told you that? Good luck. You'll need it, weirdo.
Okay, maybe anxiety was in the way. Before I could say anything, the door slammed shut. Yikes. Turning back to my scooter, I noticed a fog rolling in. Pretty thick fog. Sure wasn't there just a moment ago. Weird. I checked the forecast this morning and the app said it'd be sunny all week. So after watching some online casino ad with a bunch of hot girls promising easy money, all I got was a lie? We're really stuck to get caught in a surprise rain and catch a cold now. I pulled out my phone and marked the order as done. Figured I'd check the weather again too. After 30 seconds of waiting, the same message popped up about perfect fall weather. Clear, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's way colder than 68 degrees right now. I yawned deeply. Also, 68's a little warm for autumn, if you ask me. I feel the exhaustion hit hard. Then I got back on my scooter and checked the next delivery address. Next order is headed to the main residential area, same place I live. The very last address seems to be nearby too. That cheered me up a bit. Still won't have to haul across the whole city after my shift. I took a deeper breath of the cool air, checked the bags were still packed tight in the trunk, and hit the gas. When I reached the second to last address, I realized the road ahead had lost all definition. Fog got so thick that visibility went to hell. Streetlights barely cut through the haze, turning their glow into blurry blobs. I frowned, breathing in the damp air, when suddenly I caught a faint but clear scent of oranges? Maybe one of the bags has a fruit pack in it? I glanced down at the order compartment, but froze immediately. I felt like the citrus smell was coming from me? Weird. That's a new one for overwork symptoms. I took a deep breath and pulled out the right bag. Stepped up to the door and raised my hand to knock, but before I knew it, the door suddenly opened on its own. A sweet-looking young woman stood in the doorway, smiling kindly. A small child peeked out from just behind her robe.
Oh, you're already here. I just saw you through the window.
Oh, what now? Oh no. I mean, I was gonna give her empathy anyway. Maybe she just has that kind of influence. Here you go. Thanks for choosing Fast Delicious. I handed her the bag and she took it carefully. One glance inside and she turned right to the kid.
Look, Mickey, the flour and milk are here. Now we can make pancakes just like you wanted. I think we still have some chocolate syrup somewhere. Yay, pancakes!
Well, not quite pancakes yet. The woman laughed and leaned gently towards the child.
Now then, Mickey, what did we say to this nice young man who brought us our groceries so late at night?
The boy looked up at me with wide eyes and a deep serious breath.
Thank you so much for bringing the integrants.
The first time all day, a strange but warm feeling spread through me. Is this that work satisfaction thing people always talk about? Anytime. Suddenly, the woman reached forward and slipped something into my hand.
Here, this is for you. Thanks again.
He gave me a small nod and gently closed the door. If it was another mint, I was going to scream. I looked down. There was a bill in my hand. Whoa, a tip? The best moment I had all shift, but deep down, all I could feel was bitterness. I went back to my scooter and shoved the bill into my pocket. I haven't thought about them in so long. Not sure why. Maybe work just strains me to think about that kind of stuff. Or too much to think about that kind of stuff. I sighed, sat down on the scooter, and started the engine. One last stop. Just a little more, and this day is finally over. I miss them. I'm guessing it means his own parents. Store name. Random store name. Next, on my way to the next delivery, I spotted a 24-hour supermarket. Oh, what does the sign say? No added. I think it's supposed to be additives. This is additives. Please don't. Send help. Even our cashier is 100% organic. Okay. Might mean I need to buy that chocolate milk with the kitty on the label. Since it was conveniently on the way, I figured, why not stop by? I got off the scooter, stretched to loosen up my stiff shoulders, and stepped inside. Quiet, suddenly sugary tune was playing here. Felt like it was made to keep people endlessly wandering through the aisles, lost in their thoughts. The cashier was slouched behind the counter, staring at the monitor like someone already asleep in their mind. Honestly, I had no idea how he hadn't dozed off to that music. Found the right section, grabbed the milk, pulled out the bill from my pocket, eyeing it under the soft store lights. My mom used to give you the exact same amount for pocket money. Back then, it felt like a lot. You could buy almost anything in that tiny shop across the street. They even had a little ritual. First, I'd take forever deciding which candy was absolutely essential to try, and then almost every time, I'd spend all of it on watermelon gum. Funny how my priorities have changed. Coming to the counter, I instinctively waved off the usual bag question and placed the milk in front of the cashier. Next to him on the shelf, I spotted some discounted nut bars and, without much thought, grabbed a couple. Good look out there, brother. I didn't get why he said that at first, but then I followed his gaze. He noticed my delivery uniform. Oh, right, thanks. I feel like I'll fall asleep to that music. Actually, when there are no customers, I'll switch the music so I don't die of boredom. But I have to change it back when people show up and my boss gets mad. Maybe headphones would help? No, no way. There are cameras in the corners. They catch me wearing headphones, I get fined immediately. But they don't record audio, so we could be talking about robbing the store right now. No one would care. Ash, I like your attitude. Alright, he quickly scanned all my stuff. Gotcha, well, good luck to you too. I quickly packed everything into my backpack and headed for the exit. As I closed the door behind me, I wondered if I should have picked up anything else. But the moment I stepped outside, the atmosphere in the store changed completely. Oh, hell yeah. Clearly he wasn't joking. Just as I was nearing my scooter, the phone buzzed in my pocket. A sharp ringtone sliced through the silence of the empty street. Haley. I picked up right away.
Hey, big bro, what's taking you so long? You at a concert or something?
No idea how to even start explaining this to her. I guess the audio is loud enough to carry over the phone. Sorry, I had to work later than planned.
Hurry up, please. I found this awesome movie and I've been waiting to watch it with you. I've held off for like 2 whole hours.
Wow, 2 whole hours, yeah. No wonder she's so worked up. Empathy. Alright, we'll definitely watch it. Promise.
You're not gonna fall asleep halfway again, right? You missed the best parts of the ending as usual.
Well, I can't promise that.
Now, by the way, did you get our favorite chocolate milk? I already set out the cups with straws for us. I made popcorn in the microwave. It's a bit burnt, but still tasty. I already ate a third.
Yeah, I already got the milk. Just stepped out of the store. I turned my phone screen towards the supermarket to back up my words.
Oh, I was at a similar store recently with my friend after school. But there was a rave party there, not heavy metal. Alright, hurry home. I can't wait anymore.
I will. Give me 20 minutes. I'll try to be as fast as I can.
If you don't make it, I'll start without you.
And without the chocolate milk. The face was priceless.
Alright, then I'm definitely waiting. Bye.
I just shook my head, unable to hold back a smile. Finishing the call, I put my phone in my pocket, got on the scooter, and fired up the engine. Rolling up to the last drop-off, I barely noticed the world around me. My head was buzzing from exhaustion, eyelids sticking shut, legs feeling like lead. I checked the address on my phone, looked up, and headed for the door, but suddenly, I bumped into something. I got pulled back a bit, and there was a passerby right in front of me. A white rabbit with messy fur and a scared look. He seemed tense. We just stood there, silently staring at each other. Probably should apologize. Sorry, didn't see you there. Was in a rush.
Oh yeah, no worries.
I smiled to ease the awkwardness, but the guy didn't relax. He's way smaller than me. Maybe he got scared? His gaze suddenly flicked away, ears twitching. Something wrong? He slowly looked me over, sizing me up.
You're gonna...
Suddenly he snapped his head towards the house where I was about to drop off the last package.
Huh. Hey, have you ever thought about quitting this job?
I blinked. That blunt question caught me off guard. I wasn't even sure how to respond. Was he messing with me? I've thought about it plenty of times, but just don't have a choice. And honestly, I doubt I'd find anything decent that would actually hire me. I don't have any special skills or anything that stands out. What's that with that question, anyway? The rabbit clearly realized he'd said something wrong. He shrugged awkwardly and looked away.
No, sorry, it's just...
Looked towards the house again.
You just look really tired. Alright, sorry, it's none of my business. I get it. I gotta go.
Before I could say anything, he turned and quickly walked away. I stood there, watching him go. What was that even about? Then again, should I be surprised? I meet so many weirdos a day that I barely notice people's quirks anymore. Took a deep breath, trying to shake off the weird feeling, and knocked as I stepped up to the door. My head was buzzing and my body was running on autopilot. Maybe I should take a day off? Fake being sick and call in? job and the constant lack of sleep are driving me insane. I knocked again. Still no one's coming to the door. Maybe the customer's just shy? Or forgot they even ordered something? That happened earlier today, actually. I was about to knock again when I spotted the doorbell and gave it a press. Nothing. But the lights are on. Someone's got to be home, right? Maybe that weird bunny was the customer? I pulled out my phone and dialed the client's number. Ringtone echoed from inside the house, ringing out, so they're dead. Ringing out into the quiet evening. And then, somewhere deeper inside, I heard a completely different noise. So someone is definitely home. I frowned. Maybe they fell asleep and didn't hear it? Or just don't want to answer for whatever reason? I raised my hand to knock louder, but then another idea hit me. I could just do what folks in small towns do, shamelessly peek through the windows. Took a step to the side. What? Put my footstep onto something damp. A chill ran down my spine. I slowly looked down. Uh-oh. Blood. A dark, thick puddle spread out on the porch. I froze, unable to move. Blood. Under my soles. It looked real. I swallowed, tried to catch my breath, but the lump in my throat wouldn't go away. What? What happened here? I crashed down slowly, but didn't touch the liquid. That smell was unmistakable. Metallic, heavy, sticky. And the worst part, it smelled fresh. Very fresh. Smeared trail stretched out from the puddle, blotching the ground with dark spots and disappearing around the corner of the house. It was uneven, like someone had dragged something heavy, leaving messy streaks in the grass. A shiver ran through me. I should have turned around and left, called the police, done something. But instead, as if hypnotized, I quietly followed the trail of more game plot, disappearing into the tall grass of the backyard. My heart was pounding hard in my chest. I could feel that something terrible had happened. I walked carefully, barely breathing, afraid to disturb the silence that now hung around me. But as soon as I went a little further, I realized silence is an illusion. A dull squelching sound was coming from somewhere ahead. The further I moved, the clearer it became. Crunch, squelch, some wet, sticky sound that made my insides turn cold. The wall of the house ended just a few steps ahead. Beyond it, the backyard. I slowly moved forward. Just before the edge, I carefully peeked around the corner. Oh. Oh! I think the rabbit saw that and just turned the fuck around. Oh god. It's flying now. Froze. My heart skipped. Hard to make it look good, but I see it on the tile the other end of the blood. It soaked everything around the dark patches. But that or the rabbit just saw the blood and was like, fuck it, I'm out. The body lay sprawled in a painful position. Looks like he's still breathing. It monster of his body. It was motionless, like it was studying its victim. Dark, ragged outlines. The way looked like a piece of pure darkness. The edges of its form flickered like smoke. The way I looked closer, I could make out long limbs between the poor guy. I thought this was just going to be psychological horror after we did the thought thing. Okay! The squelching sound came again. This guy was still alive. He wheezed as he drew air into his lungs, but the wet covered his This is my chance. I feel like we should do this in the most paranormal way possible. No. Not suicidal. That thing notices me, I don't want to die. Fear clenched my throat even tighter. I held my breath first for a second, and then back and away. Step, another step, like a second. Heart's pounding so loud, I swear it's taking me away. Back in front of the house, I felt the close right coming back. My heart was racing, and my breath was all over the place. I took a few quick steps, then ran without looking back to the porch, and my fingers were trembling. Faster, faster. I didn't see each other. I can't run speed or travel. Away. Possible. Riding for a bit, I slowed down. Not because the road was tough. Didn't want to rush. There was some kind of feeling of control in that slow movement. All I heard was the steady hum of the everything else turned back probably at least call this in. Out by the park. Familiar spot, 2 blocks from home. Come here after shifts just to walk and wind down. Killed the engine. Lit off the seat slowly and the bench without taking up my head. Sat there for a minute. What the fuck just happened? Head was full of noise. Thoughts, fear, fatigue, flashing. Pulled my phone from my pocket. The lit screen still showed the courier app. Last order. Still not done. For a while I just stared at those words like a man, but I waited long. Eventually I let out a quiet breath and tapped the button, marking the order as done. I don't know what to do with it. I call the cops, but what am I going to tell them? Saw some meat monster with a face literally melting and twisting like a horror movie. Sounds way too unreal, like I'm losing it. I'm not crazy. Am I even sure what I saw? Everything feels like nonsense, like a bad dream. Go. Lately I keep having nightmares. This was some nightmare too? A hallucination. Squeeze my temples, half expecting to about all that horror. Then, breath in. That moment, a light wind blew. At first it seemed normal, but then I caught a smell. I smelled orange juice, really calming me down. I got home. Don't even remember how. Everything just melted into one shaky stream of streetlights, dark alleys, and the dull hum of the engine. Computer died by the porch. I didn't really know what to do next. Only after a few seconds did my fingers unclench, letting go of the handlebar. My legs carried my body automatically towards the door. I rang the doorbell immediately, and immediately heard fast footsteps coming closer. That sound sobered me up a bit. I stopped my cheeks to shake off that nervous, scared look on my open.
Hey, you're finally home.
My voice was so happy. For a moment. Felt like an alien from another world for a moment. I tried to smile. Yeah, finally. My voice sounded fake. I'm tired for the tone I was trying to pull off. But Haley did. I stepped inside. I looked at a small but cozy apartment wrapped around with a comfortable blanket. That's kind of sweet. I took a deep breath and quietly shut the door behind me. Couldn't say the unusual gave me felt distant. Walking further in, I kicked off my shoes and sat on the couch. Put the plate on my backpack. Walked down, then read my message. Opening my mind was still there. I never made it through the accommodation. I couldn't force myself to look at it. My lips, oh, that's the class for the overall. My lips trying to find some words. Yeah, there was way more words than words. Whatever. Less than that.
I'll say this to you. You're longer than I thought you would. Maybe be on TV in the classroom.
Really plus my arms. Really pissing me off for I kept talking and I finally dropped my backpack on my shoulders and faced my sister. She was gesturing a lot, eyes wide. But she knew that the one time she didn't stop talking.
I'm glad you show up. Let's be on TV.
Besides, she
This is kid is my boy, John.
quarter eyes. She changed her voice and read this closer.
I don't need it. Never goes well coming out.
I nodded, trying to be into it, even though my head was still a mess. I was trying to sort through it. What the hell even happened to me today? Guy in the backyard. Could I have saved him? I don't even know anything. That monster, just thought of it.
Scares me.
What? I blinked, pulling myself out of my thoughts. Huh?
Well, he really cute.
Why?
He scares me.
She sighed and rolled her eyes.
Lizzie says Johnny has a secret crush on me, but he can't look away. I don't know. I think apparently other girls are in between.
She scoffed, but her eyes narrowed, and her face took on an expression of utter disbelief. Notice I opened her lips, really listening.
Hey, you already zoned.
Alright, we got an ad coming up, though. Will the ads? I do genuinely love the great icons. I think they probably got inspired by the way the illustrations were done for this book. It's also just like this, the last, I think the sixth, maybe last part of the notebook document on it. So I haven't watched it. Also, according to the store page, there's like sometimes interactive bits in the background, so just with a quick pixel scan. But maybe a little. I'm really curious to see the movie you picked out since you waited this long for me. Just really need to lie down, but better yet, just crawl out. So I just noticed the text box is like a phone screen. I never bumped it, but realizing that, oh, that's just lovely. Realizing I really did feel like I was hungry. Like, just, you know, you get back in time for eating it when I was making trying to get some eggs real quick if you want. Then I realized that I hadn't eaten in a long time. Hunger had been lost somewhere between deep exhaustion and primal terror. Actually, some fried eggs would be great. Really energetically headed to the kitchen after grabbing a can from the cupboard. Clearly wasn't wasting any time. The first signs of sizzling oil soon came in the kitchen. What was happening? Meanwhile, I sank heavily into the couch and pulled out my smartphone. Can't keep obsessing. Brain's gonna explode if I don't distract myself. With a muffled sigh, I opened my social media feed and started scrolling mindless. Time to relax. That's the worst thing. Also, I recognize this the menu font. I don't remember where. Alright. Oh, can we actually like roll it? Where they found here? Or is it really in the suit? Okay. Size now the butterfly on the butt. By the stairs guaranteed to hurry on the top. Okay, Wazidas must be Wazidas must be. So that's the oh. First contest in a month, hope your cool have to show up. Oh, I can comments for too. Go up. This will lose some bread. I'm not sure. We want to eat bread safely. We should have washed it thoroughly with soap. Stop it. Ooh, little kitty. Hell yeah. I am a chronic lichen host. I mean, if you follow my blue sky, you know. But, remember that, watch now to get 99 spins and unlock Angela the ad queen, who lets you watch ads twice as fast as you can. Or just skip ads completely. Let's leave it. Story, I don't remember what weekends look like. Yeah, I do like this right now. Oh, that's Haley, so private screen. Yep, that's the one. Started to copy the rules. Oh, you can click on it to. Oh, okay, well, they're taking the orchestra on, but relatable. Oh gosh, it's everywhere. Not in. Every cat recently too. Oh, that's what the follow goes. Posts like these, my brain's already overloaded. No concert once. All these guys started a band not too long ago. Who's wearing that red scarf? Like, is that his thing? Look at sweet comments. They literally said you wanted to be earlier style. Almost. Okay, that's all. Rolls on eat. Sushi delivery guy, these customers are always complaining that rolls with me. Anyway, stop going over to California. Well, the post was very interesting. It doesn't help me get my mind up with special thoughts. By the way, how do they kind of make it to be? They're doing the perfect new gap here. Alright, I'll look for it. Finally, we used to get distracted. It's kind of falling somewhere again. Ah. For the lake thing. All too long for a long time. So a couple years ago, I brought a campus of things that I tried to make stairs. This really put me in crowded. It's kind of opposite of the same thing. These like glasses, which is exactly why it smells so stupid. Go through a phase like that. Kind of dusty. Gotta keep it alive and water it regularly. Coffee gets these fresh over tea, which sometimes when the flower creates and changes color with it. Here, it's some kind of system vulnerability and copy it and figure it out later. Okay. Yeah, so that's definitely the voice behind it. Watch them get along so easy. Don't use it in a flat on the system. But sometimes I know the engine is also by the way, just remember these legs always point out somewhere on the top. We could go out somewhere, but now we just do it too. That's the day on the 6th. It is only 6 years. Oh, my birthday's in a couple months. I think I forgot about it. I figured to have like Saturday, Sunday slashed. One day. That was cheap, all being cooked. It was perfect for the car budget. Always fine. I love that. Oh, really rolling over with the groceries, you know that stuff. They wear sunglasses and put all the fish back inside. Oh, that's why the cat has glasses and has oh, cool. So if you find it in the city, you can say fucking clear. That's cool. I appreciate that. Well, I knew the place fried eggs appeared at the coffee table with a smiley face on the coffee. Right after, there you go to the second place. A little heart drawing and different on the middle. You need to do a whole movie without conversation. You're having friends instead of popcorn. Yeah, that's pretty original. Okay. I gotta come home with couch and with my sister. It's not that nice to me. I told my back to my backpack at bus stop. That was not me. Oh, by the way, here's the Trevor Note. I put the bottom of my backpack and the other by ISP or whatever the joy. Oh, man. Of course, some glasses. Oh, I'll get it. Go to get us a whole dinner. Yeah, we're rolling up from the kitchen with a bottle of milk. Put it in the cupboard, and we got 2 clean glasses. He's like, well, you don't listen to me. There's just only 2 cups. It's not so hard to help me. Try to spoil it. message to a friend and quickly sent it, and then suddenly turned her attention back to me. As if she remembered something important.
Hey, by the way, you didn't fall asleep during the movie tonight.
Or you didn't fall asleep during the movie tonight.
Does it happen often?
Yeah, there's a very specific reason for that. After everything I saw today, I don't know how anyone could just fall asleep. But what should I tell her? I just tried really hard not to fall asleep today. I don't want to upset you. Ellie's face immediately soured. This is I definitely terrible crime.
Well, there's other times where you even try to let yourself fall asleep in spite of yawn. Try to watch all the endings alone without being able to talk about them with someone right away. Well, okay, if the endings were as awful as tonight, I'd want to sleep too, but still.
Clearly about to elaborate, but I already saw where this is going and tried to descend back to the end of the blade. I quickly stuck my hand in my backpack, felt around, pulled something out, and ran to the hand of my sister. Surprise, little Vincent.
What happened?
It's that easy. So smart, I'm actually proud of myself. She snatched it from my hand and took an eager bite, instantly forgetting what she was mad about. Girls. I guess the photography element I expected might be with the phone. Half an hour later, I was in bed under the covers, but sleep wouldn't come. It was raining outside, and 100 bells were swirling in my head. No chance to rest. Next room, Haley was already asleep. I could hear her breathing softly, tipping into the table. Damn, I completely drained. But despite the exhaustion, I felt my body repeating the call to just fall asleep. What do I do now? Do I work like nothing happened? Know what I saw? No. I have to go back. I have to make sure it was real and not just my mind playing tricks on me. I reached for my phone and unlocked the screen. My fingers typed out a message to my dispatcher on the app. Hey, I can call in to sleep for a day or two. Not feeling very good, but I usually work on my this. Dispatcher replied almost instantly. Oh, does it feel better? If he ever sleeps. Dispatcher was not cloud. Put my phone down and went back to staring at the ceiling. The scene playing out in my mind's eye. What's new? I hadn't seen it before. I was about to ponder some more, but I didn't notice my phone moved away. Where are you needing to see it? Probably more words. Bad times. After a while, I woke up gasping for air. My heart was pounding, and fragments of what happened swarmed in my mind. It was obvious I was going to have trouble sleeping after everything that happened, so I wasn't surprised. I got out of bed and opened the door of my room. Suddenly, the sudden cool draft instantly washed over me, bringing relief. After a deep breath, I realized I was thirsty. I had to go to the kitchen. Reaching the sink, I grabbed a clean glass from the top shelf. The cool glass felt nice in my palm. I held it in water, watching as it filled to the brim with a quiet gurgle. Turned off the water, leaned against the kitchen counter and downed the cold glass in a few big gulps. Cool water quenched my thirst instantly, bringing a slight relief to my chest. It felt easier to breathe. Didn't really feel like sleeping anymore though. Maybe I should eat something? I'd barely eaten all day, but I didn't feel hungry either. I didn't feel much of anything except for distant, oppressive anxiety that hang over everything. I sighed and put the glass in the sink. I really didn't want to think about tomorrow, otherwise I'd never get back to sleep. I had an untouched bag of chips in one of the cupboards. Amazing Haley hadn't devoured it yet. She usually gives my snack stash no quarter. Brought the bag closer. Ah, that explains it. Plain. No flavor. Haley only likes chips with flavors that exist. I think I bought this bag to crush up for breading on some dish, but I never ended up finding time to cook it. Opened the bag and took out a couple chips and immediately popped them in my mouth. Slightly salty taste distracted me from dark thoughts for a month. Maybe watch some TV? I think my newfound snag. Loud noise immediately blared from the speakers. I quickly lowered the volume so it would wake up Haley. Luckily, she's a heavy sleeper, otherwise she'd be standing in the doorway right now, squinting unhappily. Some retro cartoon was playing on the TV. Cute.
I had a few more chips in the bag and on my lap and decided to see what else was on. Hoping to find something more interesting, or at least distracting. Yeah, you got scared too? Of course, not afraid of anything. Adventure is fearless of all. Wish I'd even a fraction. By now. Was she an apple now? Oh, I don't know. Just me from the... Sure was wandering out there somewhere. Sure the monsters can feel. Maybe you'll never be the same for me again. Tried to do this a long time. They're so naive and wholesome. It's but maybe I'll see what's on the other. It looks like it. Okay. Oh, it's the orange juice thing again. Commercial. For some reason, a bitter taste filled my mouth. Oops, let's go back to the cartoon. I felt a little better immediately. Leaning back against the couch and looked up at the ceiling. As the cheerful music played in the background, different thoughts started racing through my head. Pretty intrusive ones. No matter how hard I tried to distract myself from what had happened, I couldn't escape my own internal monologue. Now we doing the brain thing? Okay. Got that before.
What's up with the orange thing? I don't know if I have enough insight, but I can definitely boast about my perception. My head was overloaded with events. Too much had happened in the last few hours. I completely lost the desire to watch TV. I finished the bag of chips and the empty bag in the kitchen trash, then headed back to my room. Lying in bed, I decided to check the news on my phone. I scrolled through the feed a few times, scanning the headlines. No articles about a monster roaming the city, no strange incidents that could be related to it. I don't know if I was hoping there wouldn't be any, or if I was hoping there would. I should try to get some more sleep. That's not ominous. Stop. Stop. Stop forgetting. What? That's not supposed to happen. Looks like the security system spotted suspicious activity and kicked us out while I was gathering data. Memory entry stabilized. Gain control quick by the first digit number pairs. The second digit will use pairs the first digit of the next one. Seven doesn't leave. Yeah, nobody's got a seven. Alright, nines connects. No double eight. Okay. 85. 52. There's a 4, okay. There's no 7, so that's got to be at the other end. Okay. Five, 6. Which one's good in? Okay. 35 or 05. So to get to the 05, you'd have to have the 40. Or the other 5, 35. No, to get to the 35 would be 3. Alright, to get to the 93, it'd have to be 19. the 6, so it would have to be the 21 route. Okay. Then that leads into the 21. 82. 8. I think that's as far back as we can go. Try it. 82. Might not have gone far enough back. I didn't go far enough back. Okay. 5. Alright. We're almost all the way back, so 58. Which fibers do we have left? 35 is already used, so it'll be 05, right? Yeah, okay. So 05. 40 is the only one with 0. And 64. Nothing else within 6. Okay. Try that. 05. Whoosh. Done. We can go on now. Actually, something in here? Right. We can find the weird road data. Let's see if we can see that of it. Files hiding nearby? No way. Monster. Like he was satisfied with. Who's the bird guy? This suit. Connection to F45 server. Calling that office chat. Private chat with. Logged up this. A couple people here told me you're a good artist. Yes, I was just hired. I still don't have a profile icon on the company application. Would you be so kind to draw one for me? No, it would. Draw me looking really cool, like a quick movie hero. Great impression. Amy. I see. Thank you very much. Great, done. Or Walter.bm. Okay. Amazing. Just for this? Try to think of something. Boss has been good with. Did very well, but you can't. I'll use it. Drawing. Whoa. Okay, so this is Walter. Got it. No way I've got access to this one, but I want to look. Seen enough already. Definitely. Dude. Balls him. How's Oberon? Oh, Oberon and Titania. I see what you did there. Right there. Put it all up. Now pull something from your playlist. Back. I was pulling at someone else's. Good luck, don't need it. It gives it creeps. Double, 4. Doctor Who. expect it to listen anyway. Gray wire. Definitely more want to check for my own piece in case not everything's crossed. Things just fucking people are on it. This missile's lucky. First one much worse. Primitive. On me. Okay, clear. MB might be for memory block? Doesn't success, everyone was cheering. Felt like the goal was almost within reach. That's a stupid. Good one. You control better than the last one. A little stronger than common sense. Right where I'm at. Okay. Bursted. Is it ongoing or is it? That's the... Okay. I expected some sealed arcade, but he just synced with the folder straight from the database. Good map. Where is now? Got in danger from the last version was a smart move. So I keep away. Sorry. Find some for it. Miss T. Well, why Miss T like some Moses, that's the I'm gonna use develop and test it. All I needed was more powerful artificial intelligence to make things work properly. But it's actually useful. This extraction will increase significantly. This will bring in huge profits. Good lab project. If it's better, steers. Just left alone, then you could leave the extra footprint. Update installed 10.06.94. Like to install 2142 updates? Probably not. Oh, it's a notification. Internet and the company database. Could have been rich. So we'll track unwanted. Here's the audio with my headphones. Huh? It only supports stereo sound and virtual drive resolution for full HD. Oh, right. Here's the password for that memory file. Want to continue. Wait, fragment name meeting RSS V8. Okay, that's up. Why are the dates like featured from where we left off? Or like where the bathroom door was closed behind against the set of water into the place. It was 40 minutes before they locked themselves in the bathroom. Suddenly the sound of water stops. I believe my luck is the bathroom door flew open and out runs Haley. And actually has different overalls. I think. Immediately runs towards the kitchen, paying almost no attention to me. He quickly grabs a wrapped sandwich from the table and shoves it into her backpack.
Crap, I'm already late. I gotta run.
Yeah, that is a different outfit too. Yeah, well, this was what it was on her delivery. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no surprise. He gives me a quick glance without stopping, and before I could say anything, he's already rushing around the apartment, getting dressed and ready to go.
Alright, I'm off. See ya.
After that, she disappears out the front door, slamming it loudly behind her. Silence falls over the apartment again, and I finally have a chance to get into the bathroom. Half an hour later, I was standing by the front door, pulling on my jacket and adjusting my backpack. The morning dragged on, lazy and routine, as if yesterday had never happened. But nothing was routine. I couldn't get yesterday out of my head. Since reality was becoming more and more fragile, like thin ice. Maybe if I just forget, stop thinking about it.
breath, trying to convince myself that the right thing to do. I blinked, clinging to reality. No, something's definitely wrong with me. But it's not just my mind playing tricks. This was real. I can't just get it out of my head. I can't pretend nothing happened. I have to find out the truth. Taking a deep breath, I put my hand on the doorknob. Go. There it is, the house. Standing before me, like yesterday. I took a deep breath, trying to collect my thoughts. I don't know why I'm so nervous, actually. I probably did. Because I don't know which outcome is worse. Finding out that a monster really did commit a murder here. Realizing that none of it happened, and it was all just a figment of my imagination. Neither option was particularly appealing. I clenched my fists, feeling my fingers trembling with tension. Already here, willing to turn back. Glancing around, I stepped forward, approaching the doorstep. Tension inside me grew with every step as the air itself grew heavier. Stopped in front of the door, took a deep breath. Took some effort to lower my gaze. There's blood here yesterday. I remember dark stains from here across the ground, soaking in the stone grass. Grocery bag I dropped somewhere around here. But now, nothing. Not a single trace was left. No brown stains, no washed out liquid marks, not even the slightest hint that anything had happened here at all. Delivery bag? On too. Can't be. Gritted my teeth and chill running down my spine. My hand rose on its clenched into a fist. I knocked on the door. Played a sound from below. Silence. After waiting for about a minute, I hadn't heard even a hint of it. I knocked again, louder this time. Hollow knock, empty in the empty. No one. No one. Quickly, I strode around the corner of the house, heading to the backyard. Something clenched in anticipation. I was hoping to see something, anything, to confirm that last night was real. Around the corner sharply, I... Good shit. The door's open now. Saw nothing out of the ordinary. A normal lawn with slightly flattened grass, a few empty pots by the wall, and an old garden table. Everything looked as if nothing had ever happened here. But I knew for a fact that a person was lying here yesterday. The insides look quite expensive. I was sitting right here in front of this window. What would have happened if I tried to attack it? Most likely nothing good. We should ask one of the neighbors if they know anything about the guy who lives here. Lived. Maybe someone else saw the same thing I did? Hard to think. Hard to get my chair. Backyard looks so normal. Nothing happened here yesterday. Hard to doubt myself. There's absolutely nothing here. Not a single trace of trace of blood. Where did it go? Did that creature corpse? Did it take it with it? I feel like it's still smell the metallic scent of blood. Door's open just like yesterday. Open back door usually means someone's in the house. Maybe I should go in? Not sure if it's a good idea, but it's worth taking a look. Fight with my curiosity or my stupidity. I expected to see something. Disturbed earth, dried blood, at least a few broken pots. There was nothing. I stood there, my fingers digging into my backpack straps, with sweat beading from my forehead. Froze. It was the front door, the one I've been knocking on. There we go. Knocking, just like my heart was. Hey, who's out there? Where are you? Spun around and hurried back to the front of the house. It was a different guy, though. They were an elderly man who was standing on the porch. His face was sour and disgruntled as if he came from a peaceful existence. Sorry, that was me. I knocked, but no one answered, so I looked at him. I'm guessing he's compared with sunglasses. The sun as well. I knocked, but no one answered, so I decided to check the backyard. The old man squinted across his arms over his chest. You're just gnawing too quietly. Tough as a kid, I bet. Look how scrawny you are. I looked down at myself instinctively. But what'd you go snooping in the backyard for? Well, I tried to look natural. Well, I thought maybe somebody was back there and couldn't hear me knocking. Oh,
mouth, but suddenly realized I didn't know what to say. Words were stuck in my throat. The old man grunted as if he'd already figured it all out. Too cold, I guess? I nodded quickly. Yeah, I wanted to see if he's well again. Okay, so they live together. No new memories either. There was irritation in his voice, but it didn't seem to be aimed at me. I felt my stomach clenching. Is he just vanished? Did I have been the last one to see it? I need to say something. It better be good. No, I don't. I wish I did. He owes me something, and I really don't like people who help me suddenly disappear. You feel the same. Maybe you help me find him? The man sighed, glancing over the empty porch, hoping his tenant would magically materialize. Then he looked back at me. Oh, no. I wish I knew who he was myself. He also paid his rent. Oh, he's a landlord. Fuck this guy. I called him all evening yesterday, but he never picked up. He promised to pay yesterday. When he came by this morning, he switched out. Not even here. Plus, it was just a trash bag lying in front of the house, and the backyard was a mess. So it seems the grocery bag really was on the porch. But even if I had mess in the backyard, did something happen in the backyard? Something weird? The old man gave a slightly suspicious look, though it was more out of general annoyance than his one question. Yeah, it was a total disaster. I held my breath involuntarily. God, the table's flipped over somehow. A bunch of trash bags were thrown around, and then one of the pots has been. Not what I was expecting to hear. No blood, no gore, no signs of struggle. Crash and an overturned table. Still, it's something. You didn't notice anything else out of the ordinary. Old man shrugged, crossing his arms. Well, if you ignore the fact that my tenant skipped out of his rent, then no, nothing particularly. In fact, his things off without a word, the parasite. Wait, he took his things? Look at me as if surprised at the stupidity of my question. Why wouldn't he take them? You know what? Not to not travel light. He left everything, at least I could have sold something. Get some money out of the pawn shops while he paid his rent. I nodded, trying to process this new information. Got it. Thanks for telling me. The old man grunted, scratching his bubble. Listen, you wouldn't have to need a place to live. You can live for it. We're probably friends, right? The place is free now. Cash up front and service. Thank you, but no. I have a place to live. I'll let you know if anything changes. Okay. Well, see you then. I turned and started slowly walking down the path, my thoughts a tangled mess from to form a coherent picture. Something isn't right here. And it disappeared. Left. Look at all those things. On the surface, nothing strange. People do that. Especially people who don't want to pay rent, I guess. But not what I saw. A body. Blood everywhere. So real. Even if I assume it's all just a trick of my overworked mind. I didn't place the order for that address. Then it skipped town with all this stuff. Wouldn't even order for a grocery delivery. The anxiety inside me is growing. I can't connect a single logical thread. What do I do now? Well, it's spun in my head. I had tried to get a hold of some line of reasoning, but the more I thought, the more confused I got. While trying to sort it all out, my feet started moving on their own. I paced back and forth on the sidewalk, feeling the tension building in my chest. Maybe I should ask the neighbors. I slowed my pace, glancing at the surrounding houses. Maybe knock on someone's door? Ask if they knew the guy who lived there? Sometimes it's auto-advanced mortgage. Man in a suit, spying through someone's window. Now he's looking at me. I hesitated for a second, but realized that the best way to find out something is to ask. I walked towards him. Clearly he didn't expect me to approach. Kent slightly looked away and instinctively adjusted his tie, as if trying to appear more confident. I took a step away from him. Hello, do you live here? He stared at me without blinking. Several more seconds. What looks like. Is that what everyone says when they're caught doing something like this? Then what were you doing? Man paused, as if considering whether he should say anything. I guess, well, I tell you why I was trying to track someone here. Believe me. I called the show. So he's got the N logo from the computer. He snapped
Nice. You saw it too? What do you know about it? Where'd it come from? And quickly raised the hand. Okay. What? Answer very quickly as if checking to see if anyone else was listening. Any questions? All right. That's all. I took a deep breath. Okay. Interesting. Big Malay. Oh, B. Malay was one of the names in the staff or something. Not on my hand. He hesitated, looking at it as if he'd never seen one before. He took my hand and it is and Ooh. Okay, so B. Malay. Might have to look back, not put it on another as a top shot. When this came, press around and frown. Right through. Thought for a second that it hit me. Maybe I might check my place. I lived in this town. He considered my offer for a moment, then nodded. Oh, just went back to my scooter, glancing at King before he followed me down to the place. He stopped next to my scooter and someone was super free as well. Clearly not expecting me to be there. What is this? Called his gaze, not as if he was illustrated. I was very scared. Seen him for quite a bit in my apartment. I stared at the window clouds for a moment, then nodded as if trying to process the situation. Interesting. Then on a quiet sigh, as if resigning himself to his fate, he carefully sat down on the back of it, expanding. As was to be expected of him. He just doesn't like to waste time. I climbed to the front seat, pulled the keys from my pocket, put them into the ignition. No helmet? No helmet! What are you doing? Engine sputtered a light, breaking the street silence with a steady hum. He crept from behind me. Oh, what do you know? I wasn't even sure it would hold both of us. Don't worry, it can handle it. Backseat has held a lot more. He blushed slightly. Oh, alright. He hesitantly raised his hands, then placed them carefully placed them on. Just trying to be I felt it seemed like he listened quick, prepared for this kind of ride. And here we are. He killed the engine and smoothly put down the kickstand. He slowly released his grip and carefully slid off the seat. He straightened his suit and gave me a scrutinizing look. I silently nodded towards the entrance of the building, inviting him to follow me. I gave a brief greeting to the concierge. As usual, he looked up from his newspaper and gave us a passing glance, but said nothing. I reached for the elevator doors and pressed the call button. A quiet chime set. Doors slid smoothly apart. Ian carefully stepped over the threshold, pockets, glanced around the inside of the elevator for a moment before fully stepping inside. I like the interesting. Why everyone's pitching in there. What? He gave an awkward cough and looked away. Oh, it's nothing. I pressed the button for my floor, and the door closed, leaving us in a blank space. We were silent for a few seconds while the cheesy elevator played to me. That's all I put. Inside, I decided to ask, really see that maybe I'm sure I did. Just this right. I gripped my teeth involuntarily. He narrowed his eyes slightly, giving me an appraising look as if studying my every reaction. Probably wasn't true. To say I was doubtful would be an understatement. Not because I didn't believe him, but because I didn't know what to say, what to believe in. Not that I'm doubtful. I don't know anything about any of this. Our Amy sister, they might be married. I'm trying to figure out what it seems like. Not Kane, but oh, that it has. Duh, yeah, Big is probably short for Benjamin. Because it wasn't quite feline, and I noticed the rounded ears. I understand, but I promise. I'm glad to answer questions. Nobody has mine. Yeah, of course. Below home of the elevator, they car from was silent as he continued its descent. Suddenly, the elevator door slid open. You've arrived. Without another word, he stepped out first into the hallway. I hesitated for a second before following him, feeling a slight chill run down my spine as we walked toward my apartment.
Something about this guy that scares me a little. I find out what. After this, we just save while we were away as well. That's all good. About that guy that scares me a little. When we entered the apartment, I closed the door behind us. Kane glanced around briefly, as if he couldn't care less where he was. He walked straight ahead and polished his shoe in his polished shoe. Sat right down on the couch. I followed him, taking a seat in the armchair nearby. His movements were quick and confident. Practice being so striking. I wonder where he works. Radiates a sense of success. Oh, this is so I don't even know where to start. Where does this monster come from? How dangerous is it? Why does it look like that? Maybe. He frowned slightly. Raised a hand and took a deep breath. What's the sound, please? I nodded, bit my tongue, and just watched him. Clearly, there was no rush to speak. Perfect, palpable silence hung in the room. The decided to break again. We're clearly a little unsettled, so we'll start with anxiety. So, how dangerous is that monster? I started to bombard you with questions, but if you don't answer something, I'm going to lose my mind. Hold on, please. Really just need a moment to process it. Tell me what you saw. I closed my eyes for a second and rubbed my temples. My head still felt heavy, though not slightly. But the feeling of being out of sorts hadn't gone away. I worked delivery, and yesterday my very last address was right here where I saw you today. I answered the door, and then I heard a strange sound from the backyard. Its expression changed. No longer looked relaxed. Instead, he leaned forward slightly, hanging on my every word. You also know what you're talking about. I narrowed my eyes. That was a pretty big answer. Allow me to ask what exactly you know. I like to take turns asking questions if you mind. Fine. I suppose let's start. He loosened his tie slightly and adjusted his collar. I told the young man living in that house was knocked to the ground and slashed with balls by a huge black monster that looked like something natural. At least, normal people. That's it. Exactly what I saw. I couldn't help but sigh in relief, so he wasn't lying to me. He noticed my reaction and tilted his head slightly, as we know. Well, it's my turn to ask a question now, correct? Yeah, that's right. So, can you describe in more detail what exactly you saw? What does this monster look like? His gaze was intent, studying me. He was waiting for an answer, but it didn't seem to be out of simple curiosity. There was an urgency in his something important depended on my description. Did you get long enough look for every single detail? Took a deep breath, trying to gather my thoughts. The image was still fresh in my mind, but my brain seemed to refuse to break it down. Afraid to relive that moment. Like, hellish mix of eyes and claws, all covered in black tar. It almost looked like its body and face were melting. Every time it blinked, it seemed to stiff slightly. I rubbed my temples again, feeling an pleasant tension grow inside me. He nodded, his expression turning pensive for a moment. Into that of a slow breath. Oh, you really did see it. That's unfortunate. What? Why is it unfortunate? He looked at me and raised an eyebrow. Wait, how serious I was. What's your question? Yeah. He smirked, but I could tell it wasn't out of friendliness. Why? It's unfortunate because you shouldn't be getting involved in it. Knowledge is incredibly dangerous. He suddenly stood up from the couch, his expression hardening. My question. Why are you afraid? The question caught me off guard. I blinked, trying to find the right answer, but obvious without an explanation. Because it's a monster that attacks people for no reason? Is that enough? What other reason is there? What other reason to be afraid is there? But I think it doesn't capture the whole picture. What's the difference between this monster and the wild bear? I frowned, but he continued before I could get a word in. Bears, like many wild animals, can wander into a city and start killing whoever they please. Is what wild animals wander too far? They're dangerous. Kill too. They don't always have a reason. Do they not have bear furries? Just bears. I don't know. He paused briefly, watching my reaction. I'd even say the probability of meeting an orange bear in the city is higher than running into an escaped monster. Escaped, you say? Well, are you as afraid of bears? Depending on the mere thought of them. I couldn't immediately think of a reply. Words made sense even if I didn't want to admit it. There's something to that, I guess, but your logic still seems strange to me. Ian's eyes narrowed slightly, but his tone remained. What are you really afraid of? I'm not sure. Bears are different. They're real. Plain. Just animals. The thing I saw, it doesn't seem like something that should exist in the world. Oh. You're not afraid of what it can do, but the fact that it exists. It's so, but I don't fully understand why it scares me so much. In that case, my question now, monsters scare you? I watched his reaction carefully. Before, Kane had spoken with confidence, almost mockingly, but now, the smirk vanished from his face, leaving only a shadow of something darker behind. Those, for a completely different reason. Ask why? What are you going to do now about all this? Did he ignore my question? On accident, or did he just not want to answer? It's his turn. I understand you have your own motivations regarding this monster, but better to go to the authorities, report it to the news, the police, warn people. Incredibly foolish. You said it with such calmness that I immediately felt foolish like a naive child. Why isn't it dangerous to just let this creature roam the streets? It's already attacked someone. Who knows how many more people could get hurt if no one does anything? So, want to deal with the monster then? For some reason I really did, but why? But no, just wanted to. Why didn't I want to just forget all this? How many times have I asked myself that now? My perception. You seem a little too interested in staying out of it. I'm expecting more answers from you. I don't understand the need for such secret, given the monster is literally roaming the street for anyone to see it. Why can't you just help me with this? He sighed heavily and adjusted his tie. Manipulations won't work on me. Not that they can offer my help anyway. The important thing is, don't even think about acting alone or get the police involved. Trust me, that won't end well. He stood up abruptly from the couch, looked at me with a slight squint, and held it in his hand. I froze for a second before reaching out instinctively. Your phone. Give it to me. Oh. Okay. I immediately took the smartphone from my pocket, unlocked it, and handed it to Kane. Quickly typed something. There you go, my number. Want to catch the monster? If better contact me tomorrow after you've thought it over. Think carefully. Gaze lingered on me longer than he, as if he were trying to read my mind. After that, he just headed for the front door. I hurried after him and opened the door. He stopped on the threshold, turned, and looked at me one more time. And look, I'm going to get in trouble for no reason. Those words, gone. Time had passed since that strange man left, and I still couldn't gather my thoughts. He's clearly holding something back. He literally didn't let me ask a couple more questions and seemed to be deliberately changing the subject. Where did that monster come from? Are there more like it, or is it one of a kind? Why did everything get so complicated? I feel like I've stumbled into some crazy story, straight out of a horror movie. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. I immediately glanced at the clock. Haley? I actually felt a little relieved that she came home from school early. Now that I was sure the monster wasn't a figment of my imagination, I didn't want to let her go anywhere alone. Walking up to the door, I looked at the hole. It's not going to be Haley. That rabbit I saw yesterday. What are you doing? Suddenly he knocked again, more insistently this time, almost demanding. Not fully understanding what was happening, I opened the door anyway. Before I
could say anything, the guy practically flew into my apartment, quickly slamming the door behind him and pressing his back again. I blinked. Marks? Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, we wanted. Yes, I followed you all the way home. And yes, you're answering all my questions before I can even ask them. Didn't need to talk to you. He paused for a moment as if gauging my reaction, and then a slight smile appeared on his face. By the way, you're still alive. What? Okay, wait. What are you talking about? Well, you saw it, didn't you? So I go to the monitor. That's up. I don't want to show my hand yet. Saw what? Creature. That's where it was. Tried to track it. Showed up. I was actually looking for it. So you know, too. What? The guy sighed and crossed his arms over his chest. They were trying to figure out how to stop the problem. So you're down, but I can come up with it. I'm sure that if you knocked on that door, you could. We drew a thumb across his throat. By the way, man, Rob. Another man. Shook his head. Questions and tears were swirling in my head, but before I could collect my thoughts, he took my hand vigorously. Done been. I watched him cautiously. Agitated, but not dangerous. Don't let you know about this monster? I've seen several before, but I can't figure out where. What do you want from me? Ally? Probably not enthusiastically. Yeah, someone who believe me. So the master means I don't have to prove it's real. You don't want to think cross my arms, still trying to process. What are you gonna do once you find this ally? Bobby suddenly gave me the most serious look he could muster. I want to kill them all. Yeah, I feel like Kane wants to recapture it for some reason. Kind of like Wayland Yutani trying to aliens. I felt something unpleasant clench inside me. Your own two hands? How are you? I don't know. Took away with his gaze snapped back, filled with clear resolve. I was weak. Her brain. It should be enough. Suddenly he pulled a small folding knife from his pocket and without taking his eyes off me, flicked the blade open. A little scarred. I can't see what the charm is. Oh, the key, okay. Give it itself enough like an hand. Started twirling the knife, his blade blinking in the light from the window. I can't find the reason. Not just. I sighed and crossed my hands. Mildly sincere work, but we have no protection. Besides, he was more proof that I was going crazy. Oh, it's just what happened. Everybody else was for your allies is a good idea. I don't see how I can help. Frankly, myself sounds a little shaky. What if the allies? Sure, don't something. Roger, you more important. Stay friendly, help me to satisfy its mind. Slowly faded from his face, away as if guilty of about that. There might be. I'll try to tell you everything, but there's all more difficult.
What are you talking about? Tears drooped and his gaze went. Memory has. Oh, he might be affected by the same effects that I have. Sounds like a weird excuse. Okay. I need to find out everything I can while he's still willing to talk. Alright, so let's start with the main thing. Where did this monster come from? I don't know. It almost killed me. Really? How'd you survive? Probably let out a smirk, but there was nothing cheerful about it. It didn't just want to kill me. He felt silent, his eyes darted inside us, and difficulty. He felt something unpleasant clench inside me. There's something worse. Not entirely sure, but I think it wanted it. Oh, man. Suddenly, the doorbell rang sharply. Robbie flinched and looked towards the door in fear. Are you expecting someone? I glanced quickly at the clock. Actually, yeah, it's probably my sister, Haley. She'll be getting home from school about now. I headed for the door while Robbie stayed behind me, watching TV. Second I opened the door, Haley burst inside, tossing her backpack onto the couch.
Ah, finally home. So tired.
She immediately shrugged off the bed, threw in the bag of the chair, and kept talking, not even noticing my face lying on the bed. It's fast as it can. Oh, who's this? Back to the means I Robbie, who is really suspicious. Robbie instantly still took a step forward and looked at the bed. Frowned at the bed. Robbie is not my boyfriend. Back on my neck, I was like, I know where to defend myself. The back of the neck, that's all. She said it all. It's here, otherwise. Spent the whole day trying to act completely normal so I wouldn't scare Haley. No idea where off. It might just be this and the jam. I don't know if I succeeded, but everything went on as usual. As evening approached, I went to bed thinking about what to do next. Lying in bed for over an hour, I feel sleep stubbornly refusing to come.
which had happened in the last 2 days that I felt like I had almost no energy left to think. My head was humming like an overheated engine. I knew I should just close my eyes and try to sleep. It was especially difficult this time. After our parents died, I can't remember if I've ever slept as soundly as I did when I was a kid. Did that really heal all these, like they say? Is that just an empty phrase for people who don't know what to do with people's? I just stared up at the ceiling. In any case, I'll have to contact one of my new acquaintances. It'd be interesting to meet with both at once, but I'm sure that's not the best idea. Bobby seemed too nervous and cautious. But they trust me about all yet. Besides, only different worlds. He thought that she was wrong. But who? Difficult choice. I'll leave that decision for tomorrow. I should try to distract myself so I can sleep. Out front of the I've residents who small parking rules violations are up. Let's make our city better tomorrow. Parking spots, that's fine. Yeah, I have that. I really don't have that. We'll talk about that. Look at this guy. Chapter 7 of our logo was a pure epic. There's always one asshole. Where's this little total group? Time. Is that a... Gotta be a cheap right there. That's my personal intro. Last time I heard cinema a couple of years ago. Maybe we should bring it back up? I barely remember it. We'd have to start over. But hey, why not? I'd love to trade my head. Negative 42 on me. Weirder. Definitely. Okay, so we're out again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same. We gotta keep heading in. I think everything's alright. 6 0. What a night. Oh, it keeps switching too. 5. Oh, no, it didn't. 2536.
Got it. They're gonna do a third one? No. Yes. God damn it. 8529. Okay, reset the timer. Fuck you. Oh my fucking god! 416. Got it, okay. Please be the last one. That was, man, there's something oddly charming about the this old code, right? Let's carry on. That person data. I think Kane's last name, it was Kane. Oh, yeah. Wait. A-Malay and D-Malay were probably the parents. Okay, Kane's not listed here. What was proper retro? I wonder how many times. We didn't read this one. Lately I've been feeling kind of incomplete, I guess. I love doing scientific research, microbiology, and hybrid DNA. College, they even called me the best student of my generation. Sorry, I missed the program. So honestly, I always felt like they were exaggerating. It was true. Now I can't shake one question. What's that best student now? Why is it that for 3 years since graduating, I still can't find a decent job? Honestly, can't remember the last time I worked on any kind of research. That passion, besides the finance, not all just feels gone. Sometimes I wonder if I should just focus on something else. Whether to find happiness, family, hobbies, travel, I don't know. Whatever. This really helps when I talk things through like this. Can I skip our sessions? Password button is nice. Heavy. So BM, that's intentional lag. He's fighting real ladies. So always like such a ridiculous one title. That's what long. Oh, weird looks too, I guess. But yeah, A and D are definitely the parents. So they worked in this company and are dead. The mom, again, I think they're goddamn. I didn't check anybody for first letter R for Robbie. Started scrolling on my phone. Finally, a welcoming drowsiness began to wash over me. My head sank into the pillow, and my body finally relaxed. Notes of orange drifted through my imagination. Darkness. Bones. Eat move. Okay. Door. Broken book. Red. Morbid embrace. Poopy bone. Love on observer. Wrestle solution. And the shadow pit. Oh, hi. I feel like this is Bailey waking us up. Yep.
Been.
My eyes shut open, I was finally awake. My heart was still pounding in my chest and I was out of breath, as if I just finished a whole marathon. Haley was leaning over me, and I nearly jumped in surprise.
Finally awake. I peeked in your room before you going to school, and you were tossing and turning like you sick.
No, I'm fine. Thanks, though. I blinked a few times to clear my head, then got up and walked into the living room. My head still felt heavy, as if the dream was clinging to me, refusing to let me wake up completely. So, you're going to school already? How long was I out? Kelly straightened up and smiled. Again, I appreciate that they bothered to change your outfit.
Yeah, I'm all set to go. You slept in later.
You look fresh and put together, unlike me. Glanced at the clock. Yeah, it was way later than I usually woke up. I think a strange wave of fear. I instinctively rubbed my face, trying to recall what I dreamed about. The memory kept slipping away, leaving a vague sense of anxiety behind. While I was lost in thought, Haley was already heading for the front door, zipping up her jacket as she walked.
Alright, gotta run, or I'll miss my bus again.
And,
Yep, I can. Anyway, see ya.
before you even say anything else, she darted out the door, leaving nothing behind but the sound of the click of a lock. I wearily ran a hand through my hair and sighed, alone again. After Haley left, silence in the apartment felt especially loud. In the middle of the living room, looking around and wondering what to do next. Snapping out of it, I figured I should make myself some breakfast. Hold on. Actually, breakfast good. We got more important things to do right now. I remembered that I needed to contact one of the guys I I'll always eat later. Besides, I'm not really hungry anyway. Grab my smartphone, sit down on the couch, stare at the screen. It's paralyzed by vision. Which of them should I pick? Now, as a player, I would think Kane, being as a part of the company, would know more about would have more of a chance of knowing about my parents if they were former employees. But as Vince, and just not trusting authority in general, personally, I feel like Robbie's the better call here. Save that it's choice, but we're probably gonna go Robbie regardless. Robbie looked rattled. Desperate. But despite that, he wasn't trying to hide anything. He told me everything he knew and seemed keen on us being a team. He was about to tell me something else, and I was genuinely curious to know what it was. On the other hand, his main plan boiled down to stabbing the monster with a knife. Not the most promising option. Clearly, we just need a bigger net. Kane, he seemed more confident and professional from the start. Clearly, he knew more than he was letting on, and it looked like he had a more thought-out, logical approach. But could I trust him? He had to be holding back information for a reason, right? There's also the chance Kane recognizes wisely. I'm gonna head back into the couch and close my eyes. I had to make a choice one way or another, but who would it be? Pick Kane, Robbie, or just Paul? With like empathy for Robbie. Kane scares me. I'm confident, too secretive. It's not like I learned anything from him yesterday anyway. Robbie, on the other hand, seems more genuine. I like that they let it play your emotions, so maybe even if you like pick a certain response. I feel like fear would probably or anxiety would lead to Kane as well. He seemed to be more capable of the two, even if it was a little scary. Robbie, on the other hand, seems more genuine. A little weird, maybe, but for some reason I feel like I trust him completely. Plan, well, we'll work something. I think I can help him come up with a better idea. I unfolded the crumpled piece of paper he left me yesterday and punched the number into my phone. He'd call and listen to it ring. One ring, two, three. But if he doesn't pick up, maybe he's already changed his mind, or... Hello? Hey, it's Ben. We met yesterday. Oh, Ben, yeah, of course I remember. Nobody can call. Can I come over and we can talk more? You're alone now, right? Yeah, I'm alone right now. How long do you until you're here? Better than you think. What, really? What does that mean? But instead of an answer, there was just a beep on the line. He'd already hung up. Huh. You're a weird guy. Taking out my places. After changing into some decent clothes, I plopped down on the couch, having a hastily made sandwich. It was a simple one. Bread, bit of mayo, lots of tomatoes. I can go for that. Oh yeah, it is running lower than usual. That's weird. It's been acting weird tonight. Okay, it stopped doing that. Okay. Alright, whatever. Cool. It was a simple one. Bread, bit of mayo, lots of tomatoes. Not exactly a culinary masterpiece, but it was enough to curb my hunger. Besides, I love tomatoes. Just as I was about to take a huge bite, I pulled out my smartphone. Huh. Might as well scroll through my feed for a bit. Suddenly, there was a firm knock on the door. I froze, phone in one hand, sandwich in the other. Already? It had only been 10 minutes or so since I called. I left my food on the plate, got up, and headed for the door. Looked at the people, revealed a familiar figure. It really was Robbie. I opened the door, and Robbie strode it right in without pausing on the doorstep, making a beeline for the center of the room. Something about his sharp movements reminded me of my sister. That same impulsiveness, like he had decided ahead of time that he wasn't going to waste a single second. Geez, you really are fast. What, were you just waiting outside my door for this whole time for my call? No, of course not. He replied with a slight smile, as if trying to reassure me. I was waiting for you to call at the corner store down the street. Oh, right. I walked over to the couch, sat in the armchair beside it, and patted the cushion, inviting Robbie to take a seat. Oh, and the sandwich is there, that's cool. He sat down, but his eyes landed on my sandwich that was sitting on a plate on the coffee table. That's my breakfast, kinda. You want me to make you one? No thanks. I'm on a special diet after getting out of the hospital, so I'm trying to stick to a meal schedule. After getting out of the hospital? Huh? He did mention escaping from that monster. Is it really that bad? But I often forget to eat. Sometimes I'm just not thinking about it. He rubbed the back of his head, neck awkwardly, and I realized he was avoiding my gaze. Anyway, that's not important. So do you want to team up? Honestly, I'm not sure. Let's finish talking about what you wanted first. Oh, right, we didn't get to finish our talk yesterday, did we? Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, do you forget things often? Robbie froze for a moment, a worried look crossing his face. Yeah, I have been a bit forgetful lately. You just mentioned you were in the hospital. Could that have something to do with you forgetting things? I didn't think the hospital has anything to do with it. Are you sure? Why were you there? Did you have a head injury or something? I'm not sure, but I was in the hospital because I barely survived the monster attack. So it really was that serious. But my memory problem started way before that, I think. A few years ago? Something like that. He trailed off, frowning as if trying to grasp at a fleeting memory. Right, there was something I wanted to tell you, but I can't remember what it was. Why don't you start from the beginning? Maybe that'll help you remember. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. He suddenly looked up and smiled as if he'd just had an important realization. You're so smart, Ben. I'm glad you're my friend now. Huh, so we're friends now? I guess now's not really the time to argue about it. Yeah, I'm glad I met you too. So, how'd the monster attack you? It's a little hard to talk about. Why? Because you don't remember it well, or because it's too scary? Bit of both. Well, I used to live in another town, not too far from here. I was having trouble finding work in my field, and I had no idea why. What's your field? Wait, is this the guy from the memory snippet? Robbie shot me a look of mild reproach, as if I'd interrupted him at a crucial moment. But his expression returned to neutral almost instantly. A microbiologist with a PhD. It is the guy from the memory snippet. So anyways, I was trying to find work and... What? Him? A microbiologist with a PhD? I instinctively gave him a once-over, as if searching for some kind of proof. Isn't the front man of The Offspring also a microbiologist? You can't judge a book by its cover. Maybe I was being biased because of his slightly scruffy appearance and how young he looked, but it's hard to believe. How could he possibly not find a job with a resume like that? Okay, I need to focus. And then my therapist advised me not to get fixated on one problem and to just try and enjoy all aspects of life, not just my career. That's when I met him. I blinked, trying to figure out if I'd missed something important. Him? Robbie nodded and nervously tugged at his collar. Yeah. He appeared out of the blue and just started talking to me, right there on the street. It was a little awkward, but he's very persistent about becoming friends. He'd praise me for little things, tell jokes, be supportive. So eventually, we got to know each other. That's love bombing, dude. Not cool. I tensed up. What on earth was he talking about? After a few days of texting back and forth, he invited himself over to my place, and for some reason, I agreed. I'm going to check something just in case here. Again, I think we're good. I just want to make sure the mic didn't change over to a different one. No, we're good. Okay. Cool. Moving on. His cheeks turned a little pink as he told the story. But suddenly his expression shifted. The blush vanished and his gaze grew darker. When he arrived, he started asking a lot of questions, really strange and personal ones, like, why is my heart beating so fast? Why do I feel embarrassed? Why do I look the way I do? Yeah, those are some pretty weird questions. What was that even supposed to mean? Some kind of creepy pickup line? Well, I didn't get it back then either. When I asked him why he needed to know all that, he suddenly got flustered, like I'd caught him completely off guard, and then he suddenly stopped talking. And then? Robbie slowly looked up at me, and an uneasy flicker passed through his eyes. And then his face started to melt. What? Oh, that's it. I remember the important thing I wanted to tell you yesterday. What? The monster. It can turn into other people. Oh, that's not good. I completely froze. Something vague and unsettling suddenly surfaced in my mind. Scraps of a memory I couldn't quite reach. Taking a deep breath, I tried to get a grip, forcing my thoughts into order so I wouldn't lose the thread of the conversation. Robbie, what do you mean? That monster was trying to lure me into a trap. I have no idea what I did to get its attention. He let out a heavy sigh. When his face started to melt, panic set in. I realized he wasn't human at all, but before I could do anything, he attacked me. So, how did you manage to escape? I didn't. At least not at first. He wasn't gonna just kill me. Instead, he locked me up in my own basement and kept me there for days. He dropped his mask, stopped pretending to be human. He brought me food, bandaged the very wound he'd given me. I don't get it. Why would he do all that? He kept visiting me. His voice grew quieter, and his fingers dug into his temples, as if the memories were causing him physical pain. I think they desaturated the image a bit, too. He watched me, tasted me, studied me. I think he was trying to understand how to become me. From the horrified look in his face, I realized it was as if he was only now remembering it in full detail. I even had an urge to comfort him, maybe hug him, but I wasn't sure if I should. So, how did you get away? I got lucky. It seems that creature didn't know what rabbits like me have pretty big and sturdy claws. It took me a while, but I managed to saw through the rope he tied me with. I didn't let on, though. Then, by the washing machine in the basement, I grabbed a handful of laundry detergent. He looked up at me, and a faint glint of pride flashed in his eyes for a moment. When he came back and started gawking at me, I took that handful of detergent and threw it right in his eyes. Pocket sand, but cleaner. So you managed to blind it? Yeah, something like that. I scrambled up the stairs, but it was faster. It caught me at the front door and grabbed me. I struggled, but it slashed me with its claws. Somehow I managed to shove it away and bolt for the exit. I nearly broke the door down with my own body. I ran out of the house covered in blood. There were people standing nearby. They saw me, so I guess the monster didn't dare follow me with witnesses around. I saw a shadow flicker in the doorway and then quickly disappear down an alley. So that's how you ended up in the hospital. Yeah, some passersby called an ambulance and I ended up in the ICU. I was lucky to survive. He heaved a heavy sigh and let his head hang for a moment as if under the weight of his thoughts. But now my life is a nightmare. Those words sent a jolt through me. When I was discharged, I couldn't go back to my old life. Every shadow, every stare that lingers a second too long, it terrifies me. That monster didn't just attack me to kill me. It wanted to steal my life. I hate it, and I'm going to kill it. His voice was firm and confident, but laced with pain. I suddenly realized that my feelings were in sync with his. I wanted to kill that monster too. I could literally feel the rage coursing through me right now. But why? Why do I care so much? It killed your parents, dude. I need to get a grip. It's fine. I looked at Robbie. He looked exhausted, as if the conversation had completely wrung him out, leaving an empty shell behind. I still want to know how and why it killed his parents, but it's gotta be. Again. Alright, his shoulders were slumped, his gaze was unfocused, and his fingers nervously twisted the hem of his sleeve. I got up from the couch and walked to the save file. Alright, I don't want to overwrite the choice. There we go. I got up from the couch and walked to the kitchen. Hey, do you want some tea or coffee? Robbie didn't react for a second, as if the words weren't quite registering. Then he gave a slight blink, snapping back to reality. We got juice in the fridge, too. Is it orange juice? Robbie got up from the couch and came closer, leaning sideways towards the fridge. Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some tea. Alright, then. Or coffee would be better. Coffee it is, then. Although juice sounds pretty good, too. Will you make up your goddamn mind? I turned to look at him, crossing my arms. He seemed flustered, almost like he was annoyed at himself for hesitating. I'll just have what you're having. I chuckled and opened the fridge. So you're having chocolate milk, then? Robbie froze for a second, then his eyes suddenly lit up with joy. I haven't had that in ages. Yes, please. I took out a bottle of milk with a little kitten drawn on it. For some reason, I felt like this might help lighten the mood. By the way, there was something I was wondering.
What's that?
How did you manage to follow me all the way home? I was on my scooter.
It's pretty simple, actually. When you came back to that house, I knew you'd survived, and so I was so happy about that. I wanted to come and talk to you, but you seemed kind of off, so I didn't.
Off?
Yeah, like you'd been eaten and replaced.
Replaced?
Yeah, kind of like what was tried with me. Anyway, I decided it was better to follow you first, instead of making contact right away. So I turned on the GPS on my second smartphone, shared his live location with myself, tossed the phone in the storage compartment of your scooter, and hid behind a house so you wouldn't spot me.
Little creepy?
Once you drove off, I just checked to see where you'd parked the scooter and headed over.
Raised an eyebrow. Wow, that's actually pretty smart. I'm not sure I would have thought of that myself. Huh, but what about the floor and the apartment number? How'd you figure that one out? How'd you figure out which one I live in? Robbie smirked.
Asked your concierge where the tall, gloomy delivery guy lives.
And he just told you? Just like that?
No, not just like that, but he did for $20. I also told him we were best friends and I wanted to surprise you since we hadn't seen each other in ages.
Okay. Yeah. Well, damn, you're smarter and more resourceful than I thought. Than I gave you credit for. I underestimated you. I still would be like, this is kind of fucked up.
So you're impressed?
Yeah, I'm impressed. Robbie nodded, pleased, and grabbed a bottle of milk, twisting off the cap.
By the way, why did you even go back to that house? If I saw something like that, I wouldn't have gone back.
I got lost in thought, staring at the floor. Okay, so he saw me today, and so I'm gonna go back. Or no, it was yesterday, because that's when we saw Kane. Yeah, okay. Robbie poured the chocolate milk into a glass and downed it in a few gulps. Huh, to be honest, I'm still not sure myself. When I saw that monster, I was scared out of my mind, and after that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I wasn't even sure what I saw was real, but I had to go back and check.
I see, so why'd you leave again so quickly?
Oh, I ran into another guy who'd seen the monster too, and I think he actually knows something about it.
Really?
I nodded. Yeah, he seems pretty capable, and I get the feeling he knows a lot more than he's letting on. Suddenly, Robbie turns away for a second, then turns back. His expression is soured. He's not looking right at me. This is a tense shift again. His eyes are darting around the room, avoiding mine. Is something wrong?
Right, but we still need to decide what to do next.
Yeah, of course. We need to come up with a plan, and I actually have an idea. I watch his face closely, but the uncomfortable look doesn't leave.
Oh, really? I'm open to any suggestions you have.
He suddenly takes a step back. It's small, almost imperceptible, but it happened. Did I do something wrong? Empathy seems to be working pretty well with him. Hey, you seem a little troubled. Is something wrong? He looks up at me, a little surprised, as if he didn't expect me to notice.
No, I'm sorry. Everything's fine. I'm just weird sometimes.
That's not it. You look like you want the floor to swallow you whole. What's really wrong? He looks away for a second and sighs. His shoulders sag a little, as if in defeat.
It's just, I feel awkward standing next to you right now.
What? But why? He fidgets, his fingers nervously playing with the sleeves of his hoodie.
I'm hiding out in a pretty safe place right now, so no one can find me. It's a motel on the edge of town where they don't ask questions or real names. Conditions are tolerable, but the thing is...
He trailed off, tugging at the hem of his hoodie.
There's always a line for the shower, so I don't know if I can get a chance to use it in the morning, just like today. I think I probably smell bad, which is why I didn't want to stand too close to you.
You could see how embarrassed he was, even though it seemed like such a trivial thing. I like it. I like this tune. This is a good soundtrack. I'd already come with a whole list of scary reasons in my head for his weird behavior, but this definitely wasn't one of them. I leaned in a little closer to him. He smelled fine, just deodorant with a fresh, slightly sweet scent. Carrot scented? Nah, that's ridiculous. Although, maybe it is, huh? Is it okay to tell a rabbit he smells like carrots? That sounds kind of racist. Okay, wrong train of thought. I think you smell fine, but if you're worried about it, you can use the shower here if you'd like. Immediately perked up. Are rabbits supposed to take, like, dry baths? Like, you're not supposed to... I know you're not supposed to leave a rabbit wet.
Really? That would be awesome. I haven't been in a real bathroom in probably a couple months.
I pointed down the hallway. Of course, the bathroom's right down the hall. You can grab a towel from the cabinet next to it. He looked at me with so much gratitude that it started to make me feel a little awkward. But as he headed for the bathroom, the slow drift, I remembered something. Hey, wait, you have a change of clothes? He stopped and turned, slightly surprised. Then again, stupid question. Of course you don't.
It's fine, I'll just put my own clothes back on. It's better than nothing. They aren't that bad.
Nah, that's not gonna work. Go into my room. Second door on the right down the hall. There's a drawer by the bed. Open it and grab whatever you want.
Haha, alright, but your clothes will probably be like a bedsheet on me, but if you insist. He chuckled and disappeared down the hall, pulling the door closed behind him. A bedsheet? I'm not that big. I looked down at myself, turning a little to the side. I don't seem fat. I was just starting to open a box of coconut cookies while I waited when suddenly there was a knock at the door. I froze, cookie in hand. It's too early for Haley to be home. I walked to the door and looked at the people. It was Kane. He looked tense. So we're all going to get into this anyway. I hesitated for a second, wondering if I should open it, but turned the handle anyway. He walked right in without so much as a hello. We need to talk. What? What about? I've had time to think, and I've concluded that I should bring you in on my work after all. He gave me a quick, cold look, sizing me up from head to toe. Besides, I'm sure you wouldn't have listened to me anyway, and would have kept sniffing around about that monster. But, didn't you try to talk me out of this? I did. But, did it work? Maybe? He raised an eyebrow, a hint of a smirk on his lips. Trust me, you don't need to be a mind reader to know you're lying. I'm not lying. I said maybe. Fine. He suddenly leaned forward, peering directly into my face. So you were planning on getting involved in this again? Was I supposed to? He sat and glanced around the room. Then he just walked past me, plopped down on the couch, brushed some invisible dust from his pants. After a moment's hesitation, I sat down on my armchair, the one next to the couch. You know, I could actually use your help. I know where to track the monster next. Really? And how do you know that? That's irrelevant. Trust me, I know exactly where this creature will be at all times. What's important is that I would genuinely prefer to have your help with something. The sandwich is still there. He adjusted his tie, looking directly at me. Oh, there's our buddy. You're still interested, of course. I leaned on the armrest, fingers clasped. What can I even say to him? Should I tell the truth, or... Let's try to be perceptive. Is that Robbie peeking out from behind the door? Was it just me, or did he look terrified? Did that mean Robbie knows Kane and is trying to avoid him? This whole thing is suspicious. I might still be interested, but I really need more information, and you don't seem willing to share. No, it's not a problem, actually. I could just take you to a place where you can review all the case materials. Of course, you'll be forbidden from disclosing any of it. And what kind of place is that? Some secret spy base? No, it's more of a personal safe house where I keep certain documents. No one knows about it. Weird. I can't figure out who he is, what his job is, or who he works for. None of it adds up. A safe house? What, are you trying to lure me into a trap? Kane suddenly laughed, as if I just told a joke. Do I have a reason to do that? Why would I need to lure you anywhere? To get rid of a witness, I thought, but I didn't say it out loud. Suddenly, Kane's smile vanished, and he began to stare at me intently. I feel like I just made a mistake. Why'd I try to call his bluff? I need to think of something, play it off like I don't suspect a thing. Of course not. I was just overthinking things. I was just curious where you worked, and was picturing some huge spy agency with a fancy office. But then you mentioned, why would I need to lure you anywhere? I started to feel uneasy. He was looking at me with a predatory stare that sent a chill down my spine. Beat, run! Suddenly, Robbie bolted from the hallway and threw himself against the front door. Friendly tried to open it. I shut up from a chair and rushed over to him. Damn it. What's wrong? Is he dangerous? Should I have stayed away from him? He turned to me, but his eyes were filled with such terror that I felt a chill run down my spine. He was looking past me, over my shoulder. You really shouldn't have. I took a step back, cold dread creeping through my veins. I turned to follow his gaze. Hello. So Kane probably did work there, but he's been monster-fied. That's annoying. Why did I even get myself into all this? Oh, that's the good ending, though. We're all going to be friends, right? I like the scare quotes, right? Forecast accuracy estimate, 31.45. That's probably how often that one's been gotten. Wow, the system clearly doesn't reckon he could have been that careless. Good thing he didn't do that, eh? Do what? Alright, how many endings are there?
I guess each act has an ending? Be as cautious as you can. Try to fight the invincible, or at least think about it. That's probably trying to rescue the guy. Let your mind be too deep in the darkness, deeper than the bottom. Trust more than one person, assemble a team of friends. Don't trust anyone at all, only yourself. Snooze the ad, because we're probably just going to wrap with that. Find yourself a cute friend and trust only them. I don't know if that's Robbie or somebody else. Well, sometimes a cute friend may find you themselves. Find all the things that don't belong. Oh, there were ones in other observations, or maybe it's in the other acts. Okay. Oh wait, I wanted to load, not play. Oh well. Still, that was pretty good. And if I have to pick up from where the save wasn't too far behind where we left off, so... Probably just going to go ahead and call it there. That was delightful. Doop doop doop. Alright. Okay, this is at his arrival. Got it. Alright. Cool. Alright, well, yeah. I don't know if the endings are for the episode or for the full game, but this is cool. I'm definitely wishlisting that. I'm kind of glad we didn't get to it during the next fest, because it would have eaten basically an entire night. But yeah, I'll just cut that as its own thing, and we'll probably call it there.